Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone across the globe joining us today. This is Bridget from Acquia. Today's webinar is Top 5 Reasons You Should Be Using Drupal with Allie Jones from Acquia. Just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. If you have any audio issues, please send them in the Q&A tab and I will assist you. If you have any questions for the presenters, please submit them in the Q&A tab as well, and they will answer them at the end of the presentation. Slides in the recording of this webinar will be posted to acquia.com and also sent to you via email within the next few days. And without further ado, I will pass it over to Allie.
Thank you. Also want to say thank you to everyone for joining. Today is going to be a high-level overview of the top 5 reasons to use Drupal. I want to give a special thank you to the marketing team for putting this together. This is the first part of a series of webinars that we are going to be giving. A little bit about me. My name is Allie Jones. I am a certified Drupal developer and technical architect at Acquia with over 10 years experience working with Drupal. I am passionate about creating data-driven applications that leverage the content management system Drupal. I believe using Drupal with a well-thought-out content strategy is the key to success in creating applications that can grow with your business over time, provide a great experience for content authors, as well as provide beautiful and accessible applications for end users. So we wanted to start this off by taking a poll on how familiar everyone is with Drupal. So if you do not mind, there is no right answer, so please feel free to submit your level of Drupal awareness. This will just help go through what we're going, how in depth we should be going in this specific Drupalisms. Okay, great. A little bit of all. I will make sure that we cover, this is a great segue into the next slide, which is what is Drupal? So what is Drupal? So Drupal is a free open source content management system released under the GNU public license. Drupal provides a user interface that allows users to create and publish content easily. Drupal accommodates creating, grouping, and categorizing content, media, and forms to create a powerful, highly extensible, dynamic application. Drupal is more than a website, it's a community. There's a large supportive community that creates and supports add-on features. There is also a DrupalCon, as well as meetups in local areas where Drupal experts can provide support in a sense of community, and this is worldwide. Drupal.org believes and supports the notion that a rising tide lifts all boats. This is one of the greatest advantages of using Drupal. The community works together to enhance features rather than individuals creating small, separate features that you have to purchase. You can find any project or module on Drupal.org, as well as community events on Drupal.org/community. Drupal is also highly extensible. Site admins can control content access and create complex user roles and permissions. Drupal is a powerful website development platform that adheres to modern object-oriented programming patterns, PHP best practices, and HTML5. Drupal is also incorporated to use other great web technologies, including CK Editor, Symfony 2, Twig, jQuery, Backbone, Guzzle, just to name a few. Some highlights: Drupal supports collaborative authoring, newsletters, podcasts, image galleries, peer-to-peer networking, e-commerce, special events, government intranets. With Drupal's extensibility, the possibilities are endless. So here's a few statistics that I found. According to trends.builtwith.com, there are approximately 556,000 websites currently on the internet leveraging Drupal. Drupal is the major platform for governments, including some of the United States offices, local governments, London and France, and more use Drupal to communicate with their citizens. It's also a framework media companies like BBC, NBC, and MTV UK rely on to inform and entertain the world. It's part of how organizations like Universities Amnesty International and University of Oxford work to make the world a better place. Security. As an open source project, Drupal has the advantage of scrutiny and ongoing input from over 1 million developers worldwide. There is also a dedicated staff team of security experts constantly collaborating to address and release security fixes. The result is Drupal is one of the most secure and stable platforms on the market. For over 15 years, the dedicated security team has identified and mitigated potential vulnerabilities. Many security problems are prevented entirely by Drupal's strong coding standards and strict community code review process. Some of the main security highlights include user access control, database encryption, information sharing via security reports, auto update and core validation work in partnership with GitHub, prevention of malicious data entry, and mitigation of denial of service attacks when someone tries to exhaust website resources. There's also other security add-ons, which can include layered firewalls, multi-factor authentication, vulnerability management, secure file permissions, and disaster recovery and site backup. Scalability. According to Google, if it takes a page longer than 3 seconds to load, the majority of site visitors will abandon the site. So what does scalability actually mean? Your application must handle sudden spikes of traffic, avoid downtime, and withstand surprise content overloads. These are fundamental to any website, whether you are serving a few thousand pages or a few hundred pages. Create all the content you want. Drupal can handle it and ensure your site will always be fast. Out of the box, Drupal comes with image optimization, dynamic page caching, and it is all optimized to work well with advanced caching solutions such as modern CDNs or Varnish. This means Drupal can deliver consistently across platforms, including addressing the need for applications to render quickly and effectively on mobile devices. Drupal powers sites that experience extreme traffic bursts like the Grammys, NBC Olympics, as well as big enterprises in need of multi-channel sites with custom content such as weather.com. Drupal 8 is now a central API, which means it can integrate with a wide range of third-party apps, software, and systems. This also allows for horizontal and vertical scaling capabilities on the server side. I think it's important to see some real-world examples to understand how scalable Drupal can be. So I took these statistics right off of Drupal.org. If you want to read more, you can see the case study link down at the bottom. So here's some statistics about NASA.gov. So NASA.gov needed a robust digital solution. Their website has over 1 million page views a day, requires both English and Spanish translations, and has a multi-site platform and governance model for 30+ Drupal applications, serving across 7 NASA centers. NASA.gov chose Drupal because it has proven developmental model, open source code base, and a large contributor community, dramatic cost savings, scalability, security, role-based permissions, and workflow for tiered content management. In addition to high traffic, the site also needs to account for live coverage events, drawing even larger crowds of online visitors, as well as scale down when the events concluded. Not only that, the engineering team who worked on this site migrated and relaunched NASA.gov site and all of its subdomain components in just 13 weeks. The migration effort included 250,000 pages and nearly 3 terabytes of content. Relaunching occurred without downtime or service interruption. You can read more about this and other incredible transitions to Drupal on Drupal.org's case studies. Community. So one of my favorite things about Drupal is that it's open source. Open source means that anyone can get involved, making the community vibrant and full of web inspirational sites. I took this screenshot from Drupal.org to show these awesome statistics. These stats are front and center on Drupal.org, showing just how important we find these. There are over 100,000 actively contributing users contributing back to Drupal or Drupal contributed modules weekly. You might ask how you can get involved. There's lots of things you can do. You can attend an event, join a local group, participate in any type of topic or language group. You can chat online, report an issue on Drupal.org, contribute to a module or issue. You don't need any prior experience to contribute. All feedback is welcome. I highly encourage anyone to provide feedback, even if it's just on a patch or an issue, and even if it's just to say that patch works. All feedback is welcome. Accessibility. The World Wide Web Consortium of Web Content Accessibility Guidelines has over 60 different requirements between the various compliance levels. These requirements fall under 4 principles to make digital platforms accessible. The 4 main points include perceivable. Information and user interface components must be presentable to users in ways they can perceive. Operable. User interface components and navigation must be operable. Understandable. Information and the operation of user interface must be understandable. And robust. Content must be robust enough that it can be interpreted reliably by a wide variety of user agents, including assistive technologies. So with those 4 guiding principles in mind, here are a few, but not all ways Drupal strives to be more accessible. Drupal out of the box has on-the-go administration. You can manage content on your mobile device. Drupal also has a wide variety of responsive themes. This is the front-end layout. You can leverage to create feature-rich mobile-first websites. Drupal also encourages semantic code. Semantic code makes it easier for screen readers and other assistive technology to navigate a site for those with disabilities. For example, pages should always include proper headings for page-level navigation. Drupal also has multilingual capabilities out of the box, which would fall under all 4 categories I mentioned before: perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Other accessibility features include responsive images, the ability to search, drag and drop functionality, making it any site FedRAMP or W3C compliant requires a commitment from the content authors, site admins, and server administrators. Drupal does its best to make sure to make this easy right out of the box. For more tools, techniques, and resources, visit Drupal.org for a wide range of documentation and resources. The Drupal community is constantly fine-tuning Drupal to increase search optimization or SEO-friendly HTML markup out of the box to adhere to the WCAG standards to make it more accessible to users with disabilities. 5, user experience. Drupal is an open source CMS that helps you deliver ambitious, elegant, and performant digital experiences at scale. One of the most powerful parts of Drupal is that it does not require an immense amount of training to get started. A site builder or marketer can get started with many of the options provided within an admin interface. On the other hand, the highly extensible backend framework makes it a great option for developers to build robust digital experiences that can scale. On this slide, you can see a few of the great features that marketers and developers can both take advantage of. So I wanted to list a few ways that you can get involved or learn more. Drupal.org is a really great resource. They have their menu is divided by user personas. So you can go search through the site and look for content that is specific to you and that makes the most sense. There's a really great online site called Drupalize.me. They have a lot of free resources and even more that you can pay for. We also have something where we provide lots of free resources, including webinars like this on training.acquia.com. We also have something called Acquia Academy, where you have lots of resources as well. This is all under training.acquia.com. Drupal Stack Exchange is something where you can ask the community at large open Drupal questions. There's also Drupal meetups in most major cities, as well as DrupalCon. I believe this year it's in Minneapolis, as well as you can join the Drupal Slack channel or the IRC. Great, so thanks everyone for joining. I am ready and open for questions. We also just want to give a shout out to, we have another webinar coming up for best practices for migrating to Drupal, scheduled for February 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Allie. So we have a couple questions that we want to cover off with you and just wanted to definitely leave time for that. So first question, how does Drupal compare to other CMSs such as WordPress? Allie, did you catch that question?
CMSs.
Sorry, did you hear that question?
Yeah, so I think the question was, how does Drupal compare to other CMS such as WordPress?
Yes.
So both provide a system to manage content. It's important to understand the needs of your project before deciding on any software to build a digital experience. But Drupal's ability to scale, its security and community makes it a really solid choice for digital experiences. Also, the fact that the community is focused around centric features and modules rather than ones that you can buy from specific individuals make it a really great community-centric platform.
Okay, great, thank you. So a couple more questions. Is Drupal future-proof?
One of the greatest strengths of Drupal is with Drupal 8, it was completely rewritten to focus on API. The notion most obviously evident is that with these built-in RESTful web services, more recently the JSON API, that this will make it significantly geared towards future-proofing for other frameworks to be able to use Drupal as a content hub, but also make it available on other sites and apps, such as things like IoT devices or anything capable of communicating through those standard protocols. Drupal is able to do that, which makes it really great for building something for the future.
Okay, great. Another one is, do I need prior Drupal experience to use Drupal?
So there is a learning curve for Drupal. Drupal's kind of known for that, but there are many great resources out there to help you get started. There is also a lot someone can do with just out-of-the-box features and contributed modules. Drupal comes with the front end, which is what the end user sees, as well as an admin interface that perhaps provides lots of options and clickable drag and drop features and things that you can use where you don't need prior coding experience. But it does allow you to go further than that and rely on the resources of the community if you need to. There are many tutorials that you can use to get started or to go further. But it is something that you can just download from Drupal.org and immediately start building a site.
Okay, great. We have just one more question. What is the difference between Drupal 7 and Drupal 8, and how do you figure out which is a right fit for you?
Yeah, so Drupal 8 was released in, I believe, November of 2015. So it already has a really high adoption rate in the community. I mentioned earlier that Drupal 8 was a complete rewrite to focus on API-driven thinking structure that will last into the future. So Drupal 7 has a lot of modules that were written for Drupal 7. A lot of those have already been ported to Drupal 8. There are still some that are in the works on being ported, but I highly recommend starting with Drupal 8 as that is what will be supported moving forward and it will work well into the future.
Okay, awesome. All right, so thank you all. Thank you, Allie, for attending and presenting on our webinar today. As I said previously, the slides and the recording of this webinar will be posted to acquia.com and also sent to you via email within the next few days. And a link to our next Drupal series webinar, the best practices for migrating to Drupal, will also be included in that follow-up email. And if you have any additional questions, please send them to marketing@theacquiateam.com. And thank you all so much and have a great day.